Hello everyone, this is Kubo and this is my laundry talk. Hello, this show is for my language improvement, nothing else. So I will talk whatever I want to talk. If you happen to see this video, I hope you can compliment me too as well. So today I'm going to talk about what's good about myself. I feel like I've done something similar recently. I wanted to get some compliment and I think I should be able to compliment myself, so that was the original idea, and then I really liked that, or I think I need it, so today I will do that again. I would like to compliment myself, what's good about myself, identify, vocalize, put my thoughts into words. Yeah. Okay, so what's the strength of me? I think the biggest one is I'm so good at being sweet to other people. I do believe my care to other people. I do think I can put myself aside and try my best to contribute something to other people, or something like I can show them my respect and do my best at whatever they want to accomplish, even if they don't ask me to do it. I try my best to find out their need and fulfill, right? Like for example, when I work at bank in the front line, so like as a teller, I cherish each transactions. Of course, like it's not necessarily like deep connection, right? And then when you think about the efficiency, like we have to make sure that, you know, we have to kind of make line move. Especially like if there is a big lineup, a part of customer service is to move those lines faster. So I don't forget that part, but still I cherish each transactions, each human interactions. And even when it's very instant, even when it's very quick, I do believe that I can share my love. I share my sweetness. Like, hi, how are you? And even though it's just a withdrawal, thank you so much for coming, and I double check everything. That's something I definitely am good at. And I always, every time I think about what's good about myself, that's the first thing I typically think of. However though, I sometimes hesitant to say that, especially like a job hunting in that kind of scale, or job hunting kind of situation. It's hard to make it to numbers. It's hard to tell. It's about personality, right? And then what I pay attention to, and then it's very difficult to make my behavior visual. And I feel like this is more fundamental part. So instead of saying this, instead of telling how I am, these kind of personality will show up how I talk, how I do proceed interview. So that's my little bit struggle sometimes, because when I'm nervous, I cannot always perform like I do in the front line, and I think I need to be able to push through those nerves and perform like I'm in the front line at the bank, because like, essentially that should be that's the same thing, like, you know, meeting new people and then finding out what they're asking and provide proper services. And the interview is also like they're trying to find out if I'm the right person for the company. And again, my personality, being good at being sweet, comes out throughout the communication, throughout the interview. So I'm not gonna lose that, but I don't think it's not necessary for me to bring up as a word. And then second thing comes up, which is, of course, I keep it sweet with a human interaction, but also what I'm good at is make it more continuous. Every time they come in, whatever mood I'm in, I can disregard those parts and then make the experience consistent and just prepare the best for them. And then now number comes in, I can tell that my past results, something like, you know, when I was working at the wholesaler and then import all the goods from Japan, I brought up sales 70% by keeping those interactions solid and keep my advice very sweet and useful. And also I pay attention, right? And then I do research according to what we need, and what I did is market research so that we can make sure that our pricing is right. Whatever I could do to that. And by doing so, I could also brought up or increase our gross margin about like 150% up. It's almost like not double, but about to be triple, right? And that's something I was proud of. So I think that's more solid, and especially like just, you know, solely for a job interview, I can always add something visual like numbers and stuff. So I typically say this more. And yeah, what's next? I think I'm so very creative, especially like I love art. I love a little bit of sculpture, painting, that kind of like literal creativity. And how I do is that I always have vision what I want to accomplish, right? Like I want to create something like this piece. And art is like, there's no instructions always. Like especially if you're creating something from your imagination, if there's no specific references, you have to kind of figure out how to make your vision happen. And since I was little, like I always love creating something, building something, and that's in my core, right? So even though I don't know how to accomplish my vision, I always do trial and error and makes my vision somehow. It's not always cohesive or complete, but I always at least try, right? And recently I finished big sculpture. It's like a hanging Japanese garden, and I'm very proud of that. I've never made, like, the size is almost as big as me. I have never made something that big. And it's just not painting, right? It's like a 3D, it's almost like a sculpture art. And again, I had never done it, but I tried a lot of materials and what's the best and what looks the best. And I then ended up using modeling paste, but throughout the process I did the different like glue or something like plaster, all those things, and it ended up being there, right? And those try and error but somehow make my vision happen is such a great skill to have. And then that, of course, that reflects to my job, how I work. First thing I have to focus is what's my vision, like what I want to happen. And then that's not always comes out from me, but for example, when I was working at wholesaler, my customer was struggling to make time for me, and then take orders, it takes hours, because we're a wholesaler and we're gonna restock entire store, so it takes hours to take orders. And then what we used to do is just go in person and then take orders, everything together, talking to the owner or manager, whatever, right? And then there's like, it's so hard, right? And then customer was like requesting like if there's any way, and then so my vision was, okay, so how I can make this faster, how make it easy for everyone. And then what I thought is, okay, why don't I just make this item list digital? And then because when I'm physically there, I know the inventory conditions. So like if we run out those items, or we still have a lot, so we never know, right? So I'm sorry, we do know. I know, right? But the manager or store owner wouldn't be able to know. So what I did is just not only digitize those lists, but also I make lists be able to reflect the inventory. Make the list. Okay, so what I started doing is that not only digitize the list, but also that list will reflect our inventory condition. So if we run out, those items will go away or disappear from the list, so that owner or manager don't have to order those unavailable items. And those kind of thing, like it was not easy process. Like I try different way, like how I download inventory list and how I can connect those inventory condition and digitize inventory or digitized item list. It's not always simple. And then if those, if our system and those lists are connected, it could have been much easier, but that's new thing, right? So we didn't really have a way to connect our inventory list and system. So I had to do a lot of ways, trial and error, but I made it happen, and then I literally brought up 70% of the sales, and then I'm really good at that. So in that sense, my creativity is definitely something I'm proud of, and I just cannot ignore that. So being nice and my creativity is something I'm very strong at. I think I'm surprised that I'm going this kind of very job hunting direction right now, because like I was just gonna do, compliment myself and then being cute, but I'm impressed. I'm so happy that I'm doing this. Either way, it's very important knowledge to have. Yeah. And then coming from that experience, I'm just realizing that the sales is not necessarily my passion. I enjoy more in improving those process, thinking about new or streamlining those process and how I can make it more efficient and easier to use. And I feel like my way of thinking is useful in a different direction. And then I'm just thinking about like what I want to do for a long time period for the future. I am realizing that something like I can creatively improve the process, or some big goal is there, and then I have to figure out how to get there, and then that's something I would keen. I haven't really decided where to go yet, and then my first thought was like, oh, maybe I should be UI designer, UX designer, the kind of like a programming stuff. And then like I was about to convince myself because I love art, but my second strong part is human interaction, and then I do cherish that, my talent. So in that sense, maybe I don't want to lose that kind of part, like between human to human. Of course, like those UI UX designer is also human to human. However, it's more about communication between employees rather not client versus myself. And then I feel like I do want to use my talent for those human interactions. So well, stay tuned, we'll see, but I'm loving myself. Okay, have a wonderful day. Bye.